China hosts its inaugural humanoid robot kickboxing competition. A survey indicates that most members of Generation Z are open to marrying an AI. A therapist asserts that engaging in intimate activities with a mischievous China hosts its inaugural humanoid robot kickboxing competition. A survey indicates that most members of Generation Z are open to marrying an AI. A therapist asserts that engaging in intimate activities with a mischievous AI is considered infidelity. Israel claims its military has eliminated Mohammed Sinwar, who is believed to be the leader of Hamas in Gaza. In Gaza, many Palestinians who are suffering from hunger have blocked and unloaded numerous food trucks provided by the United Nations. Reuters has reported that the United States has suggested a ceasefire lasting 60 days in Gaza, which includes a proposal for a swap involving hostages and prisoners. However, Hamas has stated that this new ceasefire proposal from the United States does not meet their essential demands.
Germany is collaborating with Ukraine to produce long-range missiles and has committed an additional €5 billion in military assistance. Nokia and Blackened are joining forces to create advanced tactical networks for the German military. In a defense review, Britain is set to establish at least 6 new weapons factories, marking a shift towards continuous munitions production.
In Thailand, the River Kok in Chiang Rai has been contaminated with arsenic due to gold mining operations controlled by Wa State across the border. Officials from the Trump administration are traveling to Alaska to engage in discussions regarding a gas pipeline and oil drilling projects. Reuters has reported that a Chinese regulator has called upon automakers to meet and address the issue of zero-mileage used car sales. Furthermore, Chinese automakers have received a serious warning about the ongoing price war, following a period of intense discounting, as companies like BYD and Great Wall Motor are in conflict over the pricing strategies in China's automotive market. Bangladesh's leader, Yunus, is considering stepping down due to mounting pressure related to the upcoming elections. In Poland, an updated exit poll indicates that right-wing candidate Karol Nawrocki is on the path to victory in the presidential election, with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán and French politician Marine Le Pen expressing their support for his win. 5 days prior, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem encouraged Poles to choose a Trump ally during the first-ever CAC meeting held in Poland. Greece has introduced a stricter migration policy, threatening to imprison asylum seekers who have been rejected.
Democrats are accusing the White House of holding back details regarding agency spending. According to leading Democrats, a month ago, the Trump administration was withholding $436.87 billion in spending that had already been approved. It has been reported that the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, is sending a $9.4 billion rescissions package to the House. Furthermore, a judge has ruled that employees of DOJ may have access to sensitive data from the Treasury.
Saudi Arabia has labeled Israel's decision to prevent Arab ministers from visiting the West Bank as an act of extremism. Hamas-run health authorities report that 31 people have died due to Israeli gunfire near a Gaza aid center. In the United States, an attack on a march in Colorado aimed at raising awareness about Israeli hostages resulted in 8 injuries. The FBI has identified the suspect in a terror attack in Boulder as an Egyptian man who is residing in the U.S. illegally.
Fannie Mae in the United States has initiated a collaboration with Palantir to introduce AI technology aimed at detecting fraud. OpenAI is in discussions with the United Arab Emirates about potentially offering ChatGPT Plus at no cost to everyone. The United States Department of Energy has revealed plans for a new supercomputer, which will be powered by Dell and NVIDIA, with the goal of accelerating scientific discoveries.
Trump mentioned to Netanyahu that attacking Iran would be highly unsuitable, given the proximity of reaching an agreement. The IAEA has revealed that Iran has been engaging in clandestine nuclear activities.
Significant security lapse has occurred as blueprints for a Russian nuclear site were inadvertently made public in a procurement database. Furthermore, Israel reports the successful interception of drones using advanced high-power laser technology.
A German court has rejected a lawsuit against RWE, yet it has delivered a significant ruling that could influence future climate litigation, affirming that polluters are accountable for climate damage. French lawmakers have decided to eliminate low-emission zones, dealing a major setback to President Macron's strategy for achieving net zero emissions. Hong Kong is planning to provide incentives for those issuing and investing in catastrophe bonds, aiming to establish itself as a leading hub in this field.
The SEC has decided to withdraw its lawsuit against Binance shortly after the cryptocurrency exchange began offering Trump's stablecoin for trading. Data indicates that investors in the dollar Trump meme coin have collectively spent over $140 million in hopes of securing a dinner invitation with Trump. Former Goldman Sachs banker Leissner has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for his involvement in the 1MDB fraud scandal.
Apple introduces a self-service repair option for iPad and broadens its repair initiatives. Apple plans to release iOS 26 and macOS 26 as part of a significant rebranding effort linked to software overhauls. AI systems processing audio data from AirPods might be able to calculate a user's heart rate.
APT41 malware is utilizing Google Calendar for covert command and control communication. Greynoise has uncovered a stealthy backdoor campaign impacting thousands of ASUS routers. In the United States, the Treasury has moved against Funnel, a Philippines-based company that offers computer infrastructure to hundreds of thousands of websites engaged in virtual currency investment scams, often referred to as pig butchering.
China establishes an international tribunal in Hong Kong to compete with the World Court. The Washington Post remarks on how Trump has allowed his allies and supporters to evade centuries of imprisonment. In Bangladesh, the trial of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina begins, with charges of orchestrating a systematic attack.
Besant indicates that discussions with China regarding a trade agreement have come to a halt, but anticipates a phone conversation between Trump and Xi will occur eventually. Trump accuses China of completely breaching the trade agreement with the United States. In the U.S., the House of Representatives has approved a tax bill aimed at addressing unfair foreign taxes imposed on American investments. The South China Morning Post reports that Deloitte China has established a global office to assist mainland clients in managing trade tensions.
United Airlines and JetBlue have reached an agreement that will affect travelers' points and bring United back to JFK Airport. Amazon is reportedly working on a confidential project called Bend the Curve, which involves removing billions of product listings from its everything store. A report suggests that gas prices in California might soar to $8 by the end of 2026, and the closure of refineries in Contra Costa is uniting labor unions with environmental activists.
Recent studies indicate that decaffeinated coffee can replicate the effects of caffeine in individuals who regularly consume it. Life expectancy in certain U.S. states has remained nearly unchanged for over 100 years. Furthermore, diabetes linked to malnutrition has been officially recognized as type 5.
Saudi Arabia and Qatar are set to offer financial assistance to Syria's state employees, as announced by Saudi Arabia's foreign minister. The Damascus Securities Exchange in Syria has reopened for trading after a 6-month break. In Spain, the rapid increase in rental prices has driven hundreds of homeless individuals to seek shelter at Madrid airport. In New York City, Governor Cuomo has put forward a proposal to raise the minimum wage to $20. Trump has made an outlandish claim that President Biden was actually killed in 2020 and has since been replaced by a clone. In the U.S., a court has decided that Trump's defamation lawsuit, aimed at stripping the New York Times and the Washington Post of their Pulitzer Prizes, can move forward. Furthermore, Fox News has reported that a watchdog group has discovered no evidence indicating that President Biden was aware of significant climate executive orders and is now demanding clarification on who used the autopen to sign them.
The number of fatalities from flooding in Nigeria has surpassed 200, according to officials. In the northeastern region of India, 10 people have lost their lives due to landslides and flooding. A glacier collapse has resulted in significant portions of the Swiss village of Blatten being buried. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has given assurances to allies that the United States will stand by them in the face of pressure from China, which is attempting to change the existing balance of power in the Indo-Pacific region. Hegseth delivered this warning at the Shangri-La Dialogue and emphasized that the U.S. will not be forced out of the Indo-Pacific. He also urged allies to increase their defense spending. Singapore's defense chief noted the noticeable absence of China at the Shangri-La Dialogue. A Singapore-based scientist has raised concerns that China's quantum satellite is vulnerable to hacking.
Trump announced that the tariffs on steel and aluminum will be increased to 50%, a decision that the EU has expressed strong regret over. In the United States, a federal court has prevented Trump from implementing extensive tariffs using emergency powers, but an appeal court has permitted the current tariffs to remain in place. The South China Morning Post reports that major U.S. retailers are urging their Chinese suppliers to bear up to 66% of the tariff expenses.
HSBC plans to shut down its business banking division in the United States as part of an effort to streamline its operations. In the United Kingdom, the government has completed the sale of its remaining shares in NatWest, marking the end of a 17-year period since the bank received a £45 billion bailout. HSBC has reported that households in mainland China are expected to purchase an additional $100 billion worth of stocks in Hong Kong.
Trump's advisors maintain that tariffs will stay in place, despite a recent court decision. 4 days ago, a U.S. court halted the majority of Trump's tariffs, stating that the president overstepped his authority. Bloomberg discusses Japan's efforts to increase its investments in Africa to reduce its dependency on China. The EU is preparing to restrict China's entry into the medical device market as trade tensions continue to heat up.
Trump's directives might halt the sale of Chinese drones within the United States. India has implemented a requirement for comprehensive examination of all CCTV hardware and software due to growing apprehensions about Chinese surveillance activities. According to Reuters, officials indicate that Trump is striving to surpass the weapons sales to Taiwan achieved during his first term.
MIT's class president is prohibited from attending the graduation ceremony following a pro-Palestinian speech. Universities are discreetly engaging in discussions with a White House aide to prevent a situation similar to Harvard's, according to a source. MIT has shut down its DEI office amid ongoing conflicts between Trump and Harvard, along with other educational institutions. The Economist has weighed in, noting a decline in the demand for American degrees.
RFK Jr.'s MAHA, Make America Healthy Again report has been discovered to include references to studies that do not exist. A study has estimated that removing fluoride from water would result in 25 million cavities and a cost of $9.8 billion. Research indicates that over half of the top 100 mental health videos on TikTok contain false information.
An impersonator gained unauthorized access to the phone of Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, according to Trump. FBI officials have stated that a video from the jail indicates Jeffrey Epstein's death was a suicide. Trump mentioned he might consider granting a pardon to Diddy, expressing his willingness to examine the facts regarding this possibility. However, 50 Cent has indicated he plans to persuade Trump against issuing a potential pardon for Diddy.
The Golden Dome Missile Defense Initiative will not be ready for use before the conclusion of Trump's presidency. Trump has issued a 2-week ultimatum to Putin regarding Ukraine, as tensions between the two leaders escalate. Carney has announced that Canada is aiming to participate in a significant European military expansion by the end of June.
Axios has announced that the White House is introducing new federal hiring strategies that emphasize merit. Senator Marco Rubio is leading a significant reorganization of the State Department, which is expected to eliminate and consolidate over 300 offices. The United Nations is requesting a 20% reduction in its workforce to address a funding deficit. In China, a company is providing office space and lunch for just $4 a day to individuals who are trying to conceal their unemployment status, labeling this as a form of escapism.
The Wall Street Journal has made remarks about how Harvard University has educated such a large number of Chinese Communist Party officials that it is referred to as their party school. The Trump administration's State Department has mandated extra scrutiny for individuals intending to attend Harvard, instructing U.S. embassies to immediately commence enhanced vetting for anyone applying for a visa to visit the university. China has criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's discriminatory initiative to cancel student visas. Just 4 days prior, Senator Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. would begin aggressively canceling visas for Chinese students.
Israel has stopped a ship carrying aid to Gaza, arresting Greta Thunberg and other well-known activists. Earlier, Israel had announced its intention to block the aid boat carrying Thunberg.
Officials who hinder deportations.
The United States is set to reject Enterprise's applications to export ethane to China. American retailers are insisting that Chinese companies cover the shipping expenses as trade tensions intensify. The ongoing trade conflict initiated by Trump has postponed the introduction of Apple Intelligence into the Chinese market. The United Nations Ocean Summit has commenced in Nice, emphasizing the need to enhance marine conservation efforts. A study indicates that while reforestation cannot reverse global warming, it might offer some assistance, although tree planting initiatives could potentially exacerbate climate change. Vietnam has decided to eliminate its two-child policy due to concerns that an aging population could hinder. Elon Musk has distanced himself from Donald Trump by labeling the GOP megabill as a disgusting abomination, leading to a heated feud between the two. This conflict has escalated to the point where Musk has threatened to cut contracts and support impeachment efforts against Trump. In response, Musk mentioned that SpaceX might decommission the Dragon spacecraft following Trump's threats, although he later left this uncertain. Musk also deleted controversial posts about Trump and the Epstein files, which had previously included footage of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, as the feud intensified. Trump has cautioned Musk about consequences if he supports Trump's rivals, while a significant Epstein-related post has vanished. A report claims that Trump, feeling dejected, has declared his relationship with Musk over and accused him of being a big-time drug addict.
Researchers have discovered that Meta applications are exploiting Android to monitor users' sensitive browsing history. The FBI has reported that the Badbox 2.0 Android malware has infected millions of consumer devices. Furthermore, sources indicate that a breach at Coinbase is connected to a customer data leak in India. The United Kingdom plans to construct as many as 12 additional attack submarines. The European Union has allocated billions of euros from its COVID-19 funds to enhance defense expenditures. A study has revealed that the number of troop casualties in the ongoing Ukraine conflict is approaching 1.4 million.
Tool that is prone to errors, intended to process Veterans Affairs contracts. Furthermore, in the United States, justices have allowed DOJ to access Social Security data and have permitted the team to protect certain records.
The Wall Street Journal has disclosed that Meta is in discussions with Disney and A24 regarding content for its upcoming virtual reality headset. Semaphore has reported that Netflix has acquired the pilot for Daily Beast TV as it competes with YouTube. Asus is set to unveil the new ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X gaming handhelds, which promise to deliver the ultimate gaming experience by combining the features of Xbox and Windows PC in a single handheld device.
According to a report by Bloomberg, it has been revealed that Chinese hackers infiltrated a United States telecommunications company approximately 1 year prior to the wireless breaches that were previously known. Russian intelligence has stated that it has been gathering data from the popular messaging application WeChat. Furthermore, Apple has disclosed that it provided governments with information regarding thousands of push notifications.
Research indicates that individuals from younger age groups are at a reduced risk of developing dementia. Another study has discovered a potential connection between microplastics derived from biodegradable materials and the onset of diabetes. A recent investigation has identified a relationship between the presence of green spaces and instances of police violence.
Microsoft and CrowdStrike have introduced a joint glossary aimed at reducing confusion in identifying threat actors. China has accused Taiwan of operating 5-week Advanced Persistent Threat (APT) groups, allegedly with assistance from the United States. OpenAI has discovered that more Chinese groups are utilizing ChatGPT for harmful activities.
Semaphore has disclosed that Business Insider has been suggesting books that do not exist to its employees as it increasingly incorporates AI into its operations. The Washington Post is considering allowing amateur writers to contribute columns, assisted by AI technology. Furthermore, OpenAI is retaining deleted ChatGPT conversations as part of its ongoing legal proceedings with the New York Times.
Hegseth is proposing a change in the name of a Navy ship that currently honors Harvey Milk, a prominent figure in the gay rights movement. The Trump administration has decided to terminate the emergency abortion requirement that was previously in place for hospitals. Furthermore, The Atlantic has published an article stating that the Trump administration is allocating $2 million to investigate whether diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives are linked to plane crashes.
Polymarket and Elon Musk's platform, X, have revealed a collaboration in the realm of prediction markets. Meta is engaged in discussions regarding a substantial investment in Scale AI, which might exceed $10 billion. Sam Altman's innovative technology for identification through eye scanning is now being introduced in the United Kingdom.
Rwanda has decided to leave the Central African Regional Group, citing claims of interference by the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Research indicates that caffeine consumption enhances the brain's complexity during sleep, moving it closer to a critical state. A court in California has ruled that using a phone to access maps while driving is against the law.
A Chinese aircraft carrier has navigated near Japan's easternmost island for the first time. The head of AFRICOM has cautioned that China is trying to mimic the United States' aid efforts as Washington reduces its involvement. There have been reports of an increase in Chinese propaganda following the U.S. decision to cut funding for Radio Free Asia. Furthermore, it has been noted that China is playing a significant role in the development of Egypt's new capital, which is expected to accommodate 6 million residents, by providing $15 billion in support for its construction.
A UK advisor has stated that Russia is currently engaged in conflict with Britain and that the United States can no longer be considered a dependable ally. Following a conversation with Putin, Trump has proposed that Ukraine and Russia should continue their conflict for some time. Renault is in talks with France about the possibility of producing drones in Ukraine.
Elon Musk was present at a Moscow event supported by the Kremlin, where he expressed admiration for Putin and disseminated Russian propaganda. The Guardian has also reported that a neo-Nazi group is actively attempting to expand its presence in the United States, with plans for a paramilitary training event. Members of the Proud Boys, who were released by Trump, are now taking legal action against the government, seeking compensation of $100 million.
Elon Musk removed a post where he promised to apologize to Donald Trump if the former president released all the Epstein files. Previously, their conflict intensified when Musk claimed Trump was mentioned in the Epstein files. Musk also stated that Trump would have lost the 2024 election without his support, while their big, beautiful bill feud persisted. In response, Trump informed CNN that he wasn't considering Musk and wouldn't communicate with him for some time, labeling Musk as the man who has lost his mind as their dispute continued. Steve Bannon commented on Musk's situation, saying, "Told you," and suggested deporting Musk during this tumultuous breakup with Trump. A Russian official mentioned that Moscow is prepared to offer Musk asylum if needed, as Musk contemplates forming a third party amid his ongoing conflict with Trump.
Forward reports that in the United States, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, has equated student protesters with ISIS and Al-Qaeda during a speech to Republican officials. This has led to condemnation from the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, which labeled ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt's remarks as an unhinged, racist rant targeting Black and Palestinian Americans. The Muslim Public Affairs Council, MPAC, is calling for an apology from Greenblatt for his comparison of student protesters to these terrorist groups. Documents from Hamas allegedly reveal significant connections and coordination with Qatar and the terror group. In other news, Israeli arms sales have set a new record for the fourth consecutive year, reaching $14.8 billion in 2024. However, Spain has decided to cancel a $325 million purchase of anti-tank missiles from Israel's Rafael. Trump claims that Los Angeles will be liberated as protests against ICE persist, while the Department of Homeland Security reports that ICE has apprehended some of the most dangerous illegal immigrants in Los Angeles, including individuals guilty of murder, sexual offenses, and other violent crimes. Trump's administration has requested Serbia, a friendly nation, to take in deportees. Furthermore, Trump has signed a travel ban affecting nationals from 12 countries, with additional restrictions on 7 more, and he mentions that Egypt is not included in the travel ban because they have things under control.
Trump has officially requested Congress to retract previously approved spending that has been identified by DOJ. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, has projected that Trump's proposed bill might increase the national deficit by $2.4 trillion and result in 11 million individuals losing their health insurance. Trump's administration postponed the release of a farm trade report due to concerns about the